created a commercial for Adidas with absolutely no budget, and today I'm going to tell you what weeks of planning, 3 shoot days and roughly 35 hours of editing has really taught me. But before we jump into my learnings, let me tell you how this project came about, because I didn't just want to create another spec ad for YouTube. You see, my goals were a lot bigger than that. A few months before shooting this spec ad, my life was as hectic as it could get. Hoping to have enough money by the end of the month, taking on more client work than I can handle, meeting some cool people along the way, and forgetting to raise my head every once in a while to check where the fuck I'm actually heading. I've slowly realized that some of the work that I was doing for my clients didn't even feel fulfilling anymore. So I decided to start fresh and shifted my focus from client work to chasing my own dream, a filmmaking agency and creative club. However, to make this dream a reality, I needed my first bigger production. And what could be a better first production than an emotion-driven, cinematic, running commercial? A spec ad, to be exact. Crazy and wild enough to capture the attention of the brands that I only dreamt about working with. So I relentlessly started working on this project, which later became the first stepping stone in the life of Ante. Lesson number 1. Never skip pre-production. Since the budget for this film was basically zero, my plan had to be perfect. Pre-production is one of those phases that most beginner and advanced filmmakers tend to jump over. Why? Because it's fucking boring. But I want to reframe what pre-production really is, because most creatives have it completely wrong. It's not just writing the script, creating a shot list, or curating a mood board. Pre-production is what turns an idea into a plan. And the plan is what saves you when the production starts to feel overwhelming. So, how do you create a plan that actually works on set? Well, let me break down my process. First, I needed a concept, something that is crazy enough to make people question my sanity and my well-being. That's how I landed on Defy Gravity, which ended up becoming Defy Reality. This became the core of my film, and with this in mind, I also created a short story that fits perfectly the vibe that I was going for and the aesthetic of the urban setting that we were shooting in. Next, I created a mood board. Here, I collected stills from commercials, short films, short form content, any other YouTube videos that I liked and knew would fit the aesthetic that I'm going for. Creating a mood board is the perfect way to build up the visual world of your film. Finally, using my mood board and my core idea, I've created a timeline structure which later became my storyboard. And as I was finishing my storyboard, I started feeling that this project is finally becoming real. However, here's what nobody told me about pre-production. You need to spend more time doing it than you think. I've had projects where I spent a couple of hours doing pre-production and I felt that on set. However, I've also had projects where I spent days or even weeks doing it, and I felt that too. Every hour you spend preparing a plan is 1 hour you don't spend suffering on set or staring at your Da Vinci timeline wondering why nothing seems to work. This is fucked. By the way, I decided to turn all my insights from shooting this project into a short blueprint. It breaks down how to plan, shoot, edit, and release your own spec ad in 7 days. So if you're interested, link is in the description, check it out. Now let's get back to the video. Lesson number 2. Things will never go as you want them to go. My original plan was to finish the entire shoot in one weekend. Spend Saturday gathering all the shots with my talent, and spend Sunday gathering all the bonus shots without my talent. Instead, it split into 3 separate shoot days. The first day, when I was the most confident, the sun set a lot sooner than I expected. The second day, I left my tripod at home, which was necessary for one of our shots. And after this, while we were trying our best to catch up with our missing shots, we had to constantly play hide and seek with the sun. Every time something went wrong, anxiety started creeping in. I was pretty fucking sure that I will end up with another unfinished spec ad. But since you're seeing this video, I didn't. In these moments, I learned to take a deep breath, go back to my production plan and ask one simple question. If we can do this, what can we do? This simple question immediately flips your mind from panicking to problem solving. By the way, splitting the whole project into 3 separate days ended up making the project easier to manage. It was easier to sort the files, spot the missing shots, and see the film taking shape gradually. So no, your shoot will most likely not go as planned. But that's filmmaking, and that's something that you need to accept, since this is the art that we chose to pursue. But if you want to become a successful filmmaker, then you need to learn to adapt. Lesson number 3. Are you even good enough? There will be a moment in every creative project where you will stop and ask yourself, is this even good? It happened to me twice during this project. While I was editing, I kept going back to the same high quality commercial that inspired the whole project. And every time I watched it, I felt a gap grow bigger and bigger between what I was creating and what I wanted to create. And this is the creative gap, a feeling that appears when your level of taste is higher than your level of skill. You know what great looks like, but when you want to create something great, it just doesn't hit the same way. This gap hit the hardest on the days when I spent more than 8 hours editing my film. And on these days, I decided to let my project breathe. The next day I came back to it, fresh brain, fresh eyes, and when I saw the progress, I felt it. I knew that we created something fucking amazing. So here's a reminder, your work will never look like someone else's work. And also, it doesn't have to. So, why should you create your own spec ad as soon as possible? Before making my spec ad, the only way I got in front of businesses and brands was by cold DMing them or calling them, which was working. But I knew that this way I can get close to the project that I actually want to be working on. Since I had no proof that I can actually pull off something cinematic and emotionally compelling that would catch the eyes of the big brands. So, I stopped waiting and created my own proof. And posting it not only changed my perspective, it also changed how brands and other filmmakers see me. Filmmakers reached out complimenting my work, and my confidence to pitch to bigger brands grew overnight. I got meetings with marketing directors that I wouldn't have gotten before. And it looks like our second spec ad is already on its way. So if you feel like there is an idea stuck inside you, but you keep waiting for the right gear, the right client, the right moment, the right budget to arrive, then please stop waiting. Start with one small step and chase your vision. If it's crazy enough, people will care about it. And if people care about your vision, they will also care about you. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in creating your own spec ad as soon as possible, then check out the spec ad in 7 days blueprint in the description, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.